We agreed we are being intentional on our journey to personal excellence. So when working on our own personal development, the end goal is to be excellent. And what we are looking at is we are removing mediocrity in the way we do life. And as far as we are concerned, we are going to do it deliberately. And if we are deliberate about the journey that we are taking in developing ourselves, we will not leave anything to chance. We will not wait for opportunities that are there in our workplaces to be given to us. We will also be doing something to develop ourselves. Remember, we said it is personal, in which case we know what we want to become. We have asked ourselves these questions. Where are we going? What are we becoming? What do we see? And for us to become that which we have planned for ourselves, we have to be very, very intentional. So the second C we will look at is competence. And competence is about repeated action. You are repeatedly doing these things that you want to see for yourself. You are repeatedly doing things that will make you a better person today, tomorrow, than you were yesterday. In which case, you have kept track of the way you are working. You have kept track of your goals. Remember, we set goals, but goals set and put in a journal and packed somewhere remain goals until they are actioned on. So right now we are on our journey to action on them. And that's why competency comes. And competency is achieved by learning, training ourselves. Remember, we are training ourselves for success. We want not to be average. We want to be the best there is. We want to be prepared. Remember, I have always said that luck is what happens when opportunity meets preparedness. So we are preparing ourselves for a job that is up here, a job we haven't seen. We are preparing ourselves for a promotion that is in our mind. We haven't seen it, but we are figuring ourselves in those high positions, in which case competence is key. And what is competence? It is about the skills, the experience, the training, and the ability to deliver something or a task at very high level. Be the best there can be in terms of competence. Let people know when a task has been delivered, you are the one who delivered it because you are very competent at the skills. When somebody is being sought, they will seek for you. Yes, we are all professionals in a certain field, but can you be top in that profession? Whenever somebody is being sought in your organization, that they will remember so and so does this task so well. I remember a while back, actually several decades ago, when I started working, and I was working as an administrative assistant. I trained as a secretary, and if I hadn't changed and made my career intentional, I wouldn't be where I am, because I started off as a secretary. I remember this time that I worked for advocates, and this time one of the senior lawyers was in the board of Nairobi Primary School. And in which case, when he was a member of the board, there are certain things he used to do for Nairobi Primary Board. And he would ask me to do the work for him, and that's a lot of typing. So I would take his notes and I would type for him, and he told me once, and I was very motivated. Anytime he called me to do private work for him, I would do private work for him, because he told me, Polly, I asked you to do things for me because you do them so well. This was a big lawyer's firm, and we were many secretaries. But he kept asking me to do the work for him. And he told me he usually asked me to do it because I was doing it very well. And I kept it at heart, and I made sure that even in my life as a typist or a secretary or an administrative assistant, I made it a point of doing the work very well. There was also a second time I was sent by a bureau to work for a temporary job with the African Wildlife Foundation, and this time it was a relief position. I was relieving somebody who had gone on maternity leave, and the first interview was to do a letter, and I did it very well, and I was taken in. She went for maternity earlier than expected, in which case the CEO of the company took me in earlier than he had expected. So what he did, he gave me a letter. The first thing I worked on was a letter. And when I did it and I took it to his office, he looked at it and he asked, Polly, you did this? And I said, yes. I had made it upon myself to be competent in that area of typing. I was just a typist. I was a secretary, but I made sure I put all my effort. I gained some discipline in as far as work ethics are concerned very early in my career, and I made it a habit. You won't catch me getting late to work. Those are certain things that you develop. They are discipline things which you have to develop. Nobody can teach you. Nobody will teach you. No school will teach you some of these good work ethics. We have to teach ourselves. We have to be disciplined. In terms of competence, we have to work on ourselves. We have to continually do things that we want to see in our career. Remember, we are working on being better today than we were yesterday. Remember, we are what we continually do. Thank you.